we kind of had a theme this podcast recording session, which is based on these questions that we get all the time when we're in churches. And so here's another really common one. Aren't all LED lights basically the same?
I mean, they're shaped the same. Does that count?
They do all have LEDs in them.
Yeah, they light up.
But I think people get confused because it's like, man, I can go on Amazon and buy like 12 lights for the same price as one professional level one.
Yeah, so there can't be any difference. I mean, think about it.
So you guys hear us talk a lot about quality level components. We could go into that about LED lights, and it's true again. But actually, I have a very interesting cautionary tale to share.
Yeah.
And it's based on a real-life experience that we had in a school that we were working in. It was a really cool school. It had a beautiful theater. Mm-hmm. And they called us because their sound system and lighting system were rough. I don't know if you remember walking in there the first day, but the lighting was rough.
I wasn't there for the very first day that you were there.
No, I'm talking about the day the whole team was on
site.
Oh,
the whole team, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it was really funny because we got into the theater, and then I said, all right, can you guys turn the lights on?
And they're like, they're on.
That's all the ones that work. And we're talking about a theater. So they had a full electric above, kind of like what we have here in this theater. They had side pipes just like we have here.
Sure.
They had 3 electric bars over the stage.
Yeah.
None of it was working.
None of it
was working. Now, listen, I walked in fully confident that I was going to have that entire lighting system up and running in 2 days.
Yeah.
Because based on what we do every week, we could do that.
Yeah.
And so, we hopped up in our boom lift. We had a ton of fun with that boom lift.
Yeah.
And we're up, working on lights like this, changing light bulbs because they're the old incandescent lights that still look great, and they already had them all in.
Yeah.
But then that only took about half a day.
Yeah.
Then we got to the stage, and I was so confident. And the only lighting fixtures I was able to get working that day were the ones that they bought from a recognized company.
Yeah.
And then they had 45 of these other lights up there.
In party mode.
Yeah, I said, guys, where did you get these from? And they're like, well, the previous AV guy bought them, and he always liked to shop online. And I'm like, oh, okay. So these are the overseas special.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest thing was we went to the channel that they were supposed to be connected to. We turned it on, and all of a sudden they were in party mode.
Yeah.
Hey! Every time we made any noise, the lights were doing some crazy flashing stuff. And again, if this had been any recognized lighting company, I would have done what every good tech would do. I would have gone online, went to the manual, found the program notes, had it done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, these lights have no manuals.
No.
They don't even have names on them.
No.
And that's what we're trying to get across to people is okay, so you've saved a few bucks, but how many hours are you going to waste? And what we ended up having to do on that project, and it was really funny because it wasn't just these LED PARs, it was moving headlights too. What it ended up having to do is I had to take them back to my office, plug a dumb DMX controller into it, and just give it DMX values on every channel.
Yeah.
And I literally had to map out these fixtures.
Yeah.
And they made no sense. They were in the weirdest order. They didn't follow any industry standards.
Yeah.
And basically, these people had invested in all these lights, and they still had paid a substantial amount of money because they had a lot of them up there.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't use any of them.
Yeah.
And even after I gave them the map, they felt very intimidated trying to use these fixtures appropriately. And that was hard.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was with the moving headlights, which a lot of churches are wanting to get into. They look really cool.
Yeah.
What you may not know about that is not all moving headlights are created the same.
No.
And they're not controlled the same. And so if you guys use a standard control system, we love the Jans Vista stuff. Yeah. Jans Vista has control drivers basically for every mainstream light on the market. So even from cheap ones to expensive ones, but they have to be mainstream, made by a company that's recognized as a lighting company. Yeah. Then all you do is you go out, you buy 10 moving lights, you drag the driver into Jans, and you're controlling them in seconds. Yeah. And you're making them move and do all kinds of really cool stuff. When you bring in these knockoffs, there is no driver.
You're hunting the internet's forums to try to find
I think
some
you worked in a church where they had to have a driver custom built.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the end result is they did eventually get those lights working, but it was so much research, and you eventually had to find a guy who knew how to write a driver.
Yeah.
Or if you come to us as an AVL company, like we can write you a driver, but it's not going to be free. So in the long run, did you really save that much money?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So our encouragement to you is do some research and buy lighting fixtures from recognized lighting companies.